Here's your wrestling news for October 5th, 2022, and we're kicking off with WWE, and for weeks, the White Rabbit has had fans believing that Bray Wyatt's return is imminent over a year after his controversial release from the company. All the clues so far certainly point to a Wyatt return, and now Bray himself has gotten in on the action. On Twitter, Wyatt updated his bio, which now reads, "A villain is just a victim from a different story," which has left fans trying to decode the message. Some have speculated that this could be related to Wyatt's release, as The Fiend, a villain of WWE, was unceremoniously fired under the previous regime and was a victim of Vince McMahon and his budget cuts. Whatever this bio means, fans are eager to see Wyatt back on WWE programming, and his return to the company may not be too much longer now. Wyatt's return may indeed be days away, and not only have clues been left for fans to solve on-screen, but there's been some interesting changes behind the camera. Fightful Select reports that WWE has hired horror writer Rob Fee to the company, and that he's due to start full-time at some point this month. Given that Fee is a horror writer, it makes sense that fans are associating him with Bray, but Fightful adds that he once pitched a Fiend movie to WWE, which resonated well with the higher-ups. The film was close to being greenlit before Wyatt's release obviously ended those plans, but his hiring amid rumors of a Wyatt return is certainly interesting. Fee hasn't started full-time just yet, but fans are already enjoying his work, as he's been the one producing content for the QR code-related videos and graphics, which have gained an incredible amount of buzz. A former Marvel writer and head of several Disney shows, hiring Rob Fee is a big win for WWE. And it certainly looks like he'll be a huge presence moving forward when Wyatt is inevitably back. Last month, Veer Mahaan returned to NXT at a live event and teamed with his former Indus Sher partner, Sanga. At the time, many thought that this marked the end of Veer's time on the main roster, and that appears to be the case, going by last night's NXT. Mahaan appeared during a backstage segment and reunited with Sanga on the show, confirming that the pair are back together. Veer may be on NXT, but it's reported that this won't be for long, as WWE reportedly has plans for both he and Sanga on the main roster. At one point, Vince McMahon saw Mahaan as his next top heel on Raw, but that didn't pan out, and now he's back in Indus Sher. Veer was on this week's NXT, but he wasn't the only notable name on the gold brand. During Pretty Deadly's State of the Commonwealth address, Ridge Holland and Butch of the Brawling Brutes returned to NXT, taking out the tag team champions. The appearance came after Butch and Holland missed last Friday's SmackDown due to Hurricane Ian, leaving Sheamus to take on all of Imperium on his own. WWE has featured a lot of main roster superstars in NXT over recent months as part of a creative decision to have more crossover between NXT and the main roster, so we'll have to see if this appearance is a one-off or if the Brawling Brutes are back next week. Over to Raw now, as Bayley vowed to become Raw Women's Champion this week when she faces Bianca Belair at Extreme Rules on Saturday. Raw ended with Bayley holding the title on a ladder, flanked by the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Dakota Kai and Io Sky, but that wasn't the only ladder usage on the show. Backstage, a ladder was used by Sky to attack Asuka, but WWE had an interesting rule in place for the show. According to Fightful, a production mandate was that only 8 to 10-foot ladders could be used, far shorter than previous ladders which have been as big as 15 to 20 feet. This Saturday will mark the first singles women's ladder match on the main roster, but don't expect the tall ladders when Bayley and Belair face off. WWE's rule about ladder height was fully in effect during this week's Raw, but not everything planned for the show happened as expected. During the show, the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeated Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles, but Fightful report that there was a time when WWE planned for the match to headline Raw. That didn't happen, as the main event match saw Io Sky defeat Alexa Bliss, but the women's division would also experience changes. Fightful's report adds that at one point, the trio of Bliss, Belair, and Asuka were originally set to accompany Candice LeRae to the ring for her match against Dakota Kai. That didn't happen, as LeRae lost to Kai thanks to interference by Bayley, and there's been no explanation as to why these changes happened. Now, Sammy Guevara has replied to the recent comments made by Andrade El Idolo, in which the former NXT champion criticized the Spanish God in an interview with Mas Lucha. After saying Guevara was like a little girl and upset about being hit too hard, the former TNT champion fired back in an explosive tweet. "You didn't say shit to me, you liar, but here's some truth, you ungrateful prick. You would be jobless if it wasn't for your dad-in-law. Are you really mad at me, or are you mad at yourself for failing to get over for a second time? Just go back to WWE like we all know you want to do and off." In the same interview Andrade made his comments, El Idolo also spoke about feeling stuck in AEW and praised Triple H following weeks of teasing about wanting to get out of his AEW contract. We know that Andrade will put his career in AEW on the line during this week's Rampage when he takes on Preston Vance of the Dark Order, but perhaps a return to WWE is in the works for the former NXT champion. The last time fans saw Roman Reigns in action on TV was at Clash at the Castle, where he defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the undisputed WWE Universal title. The match was the definition of a big fight feel, and now the challenger has spoken more about that special night. Sitting down with My San Antonio, McIntyre spoke about how both he and Reigns broke character immediately after the bell. "But the fans were 100% for me and against Roman, and the atmosphere was great. I even asked Roman afterwards, because he had been a part of these matches with big crowds, 'Have you heard anything like that?' And he said no. You'd be hard-pressed to find a crowd that was that loud consistently throughout, especially our match. It was a World Cup soccer match the way they were shouting, the way they were singing their songs and chanting F you Roman the entire time. And they were not happy with that finish. I was generally concerned about rioting." Clash at the Castle marked WWE's first major event in 30 years in the UK, and judging by the reaction the show has received, we doubt it'll be the last time WWE packs a stadium with passionate UK fans. Over to AEW next, as the Young Bucks are currently out with a suspension due to their role in the fight after last month's All Out. To be fair, all reports suggest that the Bucks did not instigate the fight, but they have been pulled from TV, and many believe their suspension won't last long, as AEW promoted the Bucks' new sneaker on social media. Speaking to Wrestling Inc. this week though, Dave Meltzer said that the AEW promotion of the shoes shouldn't be seen as a sign of their return, as there was even more promoting that was planned for AEW TV that was cut because of their suspension. In the end, this promotion on TV didn't matter as the shoes sold out instantly, and Meltzer pointed out that the Bucks haven't even been mentioned once on AEW TV in over a month. It was a tough decision for Tony Khan, but AEW is without 4 of its biggest stars in the Bucks, Kenny Omega and CM Punk, and the company will continue to distance themselves from the group for however long Khan deems necessary. And we're ending with last week's SmackDown, where Max Dupri ended things with the Maximum Male Models group, telling Massey and Mansois that he was done with them. This came after weeks of Dupri teasing a change, with fans thinking that he could be going back to being L.A. Knight, especially after a backstage segment where he used the Knight name. PW Insider reports that as of now, Dupri has been relisted as L.A. Knight on WWE's internal roster, and that the change to his old name on TV will be done as soon as possible. The report adds that Massey and Mansois will still be a tag team under the Maximum Male Models banner, but it'll be Knight's sister Maxine who operates as their manager. Knight is just the latest wrestler to get his old name back, as several superstars have reverted under Triple H's regime, and it's now time for fans to see what the former $1 Million champion can do on the main roster. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.